So, before we enter the Blood Furnace, I just want to go ahead and give you this shot here. You can actually see the entrance of all three dungeons from this angle. There's the ramparts, there's the Blood Furnace, and there's the Shattered Halls. We'll be doing that one next. But for now, let's head on inside the Blood Furnace and see what it is that they are up to in this place. Interesting.
What do you need?
The Blood Furnace is a testament to the dark past of my people.
Strength.
The Maker serves the purpose of creating more fell orcs by infusing them with demon blood. My superiors believe that we may be able to reverse the process, but we need samples of their blood and the Maker's infusion rod before we can know for sure.
For the Horde.
We know that the fell orcs are growing their forces by infusing orcs with demon blood.
What? That's insane.
I need you to venture deep inside these unholy halls and find out how that's happening. We can't risk sending an army into this place until we know exactly what we are dealing with.
Go forth to victory. May your blades...
In all of the Blood Furnace, there is one area where our squires cannot reach despite their efforts. This gap, as they've been calling it, is fairly large and must be where Magtheridon is being held captive. You must find the source of the interference and dispose of it.
He's actually not supposed to know about Magtheridon yet. Part of the point of what's going on here is that we are actually going to be investigating where they're getting all this demon blood to be using to help make the fell orcs. And discover that, oh my gosh, it's Magtheridon! He's still alive! He's here being held captive! As I said, one of the things that I liked about the Illidan book is that it took time to actually really flesh this part out. The reason Illidan is keeping him here, the actual reason that the lore book did to help explain it, was that he is using Magtheridon's blood, not necessarily just for the fell orcs. He's kind of doing that just kind of as a, like, they're just fodder and such. But that's not his real goal, his real purpose. The real purpose Illidan is doing this with Magtheridon is he's using it on his Illidari to make more demon hunters. That's how he makes our demon hunter characters, and that we then end up playing in this game. Like, by the time he's done creating more demon hunters, aka the characters we interact with in the demon hunter starting zone and story throughout Legion, as well as ourselves, like, that's when, like, we then fast forward to the Black Temple. But yeah, he's using Magtheridon to do this, basically using him as a battery and a power source, and not in the same manner as, like, how Manaroth was creating these orcs back in the day, like, oh, well, I'll just have them drink my blood. No. These fell orcs are not just having his...
Fool. I will crush him and reclaim Outland as my own.
So, yeah, that's Magtheridon. Now, I want to give a very special shout-out to the gentleman who voices Magtheridon. I believe his name is Earl Bowen. And I say that very sadly and posthumously. It's a shout-out posthumously, because very sadly the gentleman passed away earlier this year. And he has done quite a bit voice acting in World of Warcraft alone. You probably recognize him not just as the narrator voice for the starting zones in this game, but also as the voice of Tyrannus Menethil, as in Arthas's father. You know, the gentleman at the end of the Ice Crown raid after we beat the Lich King that says, "There must always be a Lich King." That's him. Now, you probably recognize him a bit more so as the psychiatrist, if that's what his position was, in the Terminator movies. Yeah, you know, the gentleman who was running that psychiatric ward that Sarah Connor was being held in. Yeah, that's him. And like I said, sadly earlier this year he passed away, which for many of us in the WoW community we were very sad about, you know, because yeah, his it's hard not to hear his voice and not think of either the narrator voice we hear in the starting zones when we make a new character, or as, you know, King Menethil. "What is this? What are you doing, my son?" Like, yeah, he has a very prominent voice, and he's going to be missed. He will be missed a great deal. But yeah, you'll hear Magtheridon kind of chime in from time to time. It's supposed to be a nice, like, tease and reveal for like us, like, oh my gosh, it's Magtheridon! He's what they're using here. So, anyways, we'll get to that, and like you'll be able to actually see him down below in the area where we're actually going to fight him in the raid. But yeah, the purpose of this whole place here, this blood furnace, is that they are siphoning power and blood from Magtheridon, using it to power up the Fel Orcs that we are fighting here, as well as make more demon hunters. Now, we don't know about the demon hunters, at least, well, I don't think we do. Not in the sense that we would know later, because some of the demon hunters here were kind of like, again, used as either like they're going against Illidan because Illidan is evil, and that's part of the altruist storyline, which does happen here in TBC, and we actually do get to see him again in Legion. I have shown that on camera at least twice, I recall. But yeah, it's like, okay, we're up here, and alright, well, that's that guy that is doing this gap thing. Ignore the upside down star thing, and then you look farther down, you're like, wait a minute. Huh, that looks like a pit lord. And that's the area we'll be going down to for the raid to fight Magtheridon later on. And it's supposed to be this revealed moment like, oh my gosh, they're using Magtheridon! Dun, dun, dun! Cut to commercial break. It's supposed to be one of those kind of moments here, this big reveal. Like, he wanted us to investigate what's going on here, and we have just found out the reason! And now we have to investigate further and see if what we can do about putting a stop to this, you know? Like, no more using, like, demon blood on these forces. Because we think Illidan is using this for some evil plan, when that's not true, but again, Illidan also reached a point where he was just like fed up, and he was just like, you know what, screw this. I'm not bothering explaining my plans to anybody anymore, because they don't believe me anyway. I tried this with the Night Elves. They were like, yeah, we don't believe you. So he just kind of gave up at that point. It was like refuses to explain any of his plans to anybody. That's why we go after him, because he doesn't bother to tell us what's really happening. Plus, Kill Jaden was kind of manipulating the whole thing to make us think he was up to no good and evil, and we would have to go after him. So, anyways, the Maker. No, not the one from Dragon Age. This is not the Maker. I mean, this is the Maker, but not that Maker. You know what I mean. All creatures who use the power of fel magic, willingly or otherwise, slowly take on the appearance of demons. The Maker accelerates their corruption and performs cruel experiments on any who attempt to resist.
My work must not be interrupted.
Again, I love that each boss has a bit of voice acting. Ah!
Stay away
I like how his gear fell off there. You can actually see now his face without that mask and how horrific it made him look. Oh, I got the Blood Lord leg plates. So here's another showcase of what's happening here. Nascent Felork. You see this device? This is part of what they're using to basically pump the blood from Magtheridon and such into these Fel Orcs to truly power them up. Again, they're not just having them drink it like Manaroth did. No. They are just dousing them with it. And that's pretty horrifying, considering what it does to you. Like, we saw what it does to you just from drinking it. Imagine what it's like having you be bathed in it. Now, you see those little clamps right there? These things right here? That's to hold the person in place, the orc in place, because Well, just imagine the kind of excruciating pain this puts you in. So they literally have to restrain you to keep you down from, like, running away or breaking things to make sure that the full effect is done on you. So that, yeah, you could become one of those things. Yeah. Now, there are some that they actually do, like, capture and restrain and force to have this done to them. And then there are some that do this willingly, which is kind of like, wow. Just where do you have to be at, at some point to actually be like, yeah, no, I want to have that kind of horrible thing done to me. That sounds great. Yeah. Of course, you can see a mixture now. We're dealing with Laughing Skull, Shadow Moon. Because again, this is not a Burning Legion place. This is a Illidari place. So we throw the lever, and more of these fell orcs that have been doused in, like, demon, Magtheridon's demon blood and are super powerful are released, and they're like, get 'em! Like, just think of them as like powered up, like, Hulk versions of fell orcs. Like, these guys are supposed to be, like, uber strong with how much fell blood they've been doused in. Come, intruders. Brogok. Some creatures occasionally have second thoughts about their allegiance to their new corrupt masters. Brogok ensures that any subversive notions among the fell orcs are permanently eradicated. So yeah, he's got Poison Bolt, Poison Cloud, Slime Spray. Very nasty poison boss. Now, I'm going to try really hard not to kill the next boss because he has a couple of lines that I really want to show off. Like, there are some lines from bosses in this expansion, especially in the raids and dungeons, that people to this day remember. Because, like I said, they really stepped up the quality in just voice acting alone. I mentioned some of the other things they stepped up in terms of quality of the dungeons for TBC compared to vanilla. But one of the things they really want to improve upon was the amount of good voice acting that was actually in this content compared to what it was like in vanilla, which was not very prominent. Again, the voice acting from Ragnaros and Executus was rare in vanilla, very rare. Like they did it for very important moments or characters like Ragnaros, Nefarian, Kel'Thuzad. So, here's the gap. And at the center is Celadan the Breaker. And again, there's Magtheridon below us. When Illidan overthrew the Pit Lord Magtheridon and took control of Outland, he had the demonic leader imprisoned beneath the Hellfire Citadel. Only the most stalwart among Illidan's forces could ever hope to keep him contained. The ruthless orc, Celadan, was the only possible choice. So, you'll see that 5 channelers are protecting Celadan during his fell ritual. So, once all of them are defeated, he will then attack. And he's got a few abilities. This is the one I want to show off here, Burning Nova, because he's got a very memorable voice line about it. I'm going to try to very carefully...
Ignorant whelps!
Let him loose! He'll kill us all! Who dares interrupt? What is this? What have you done? You'll ruin everything!
Come on, do it. I hope I don't have to get him to low health in order to trigger it. Come on.
Closer. Come closer. And burn!
There it is. That's the one. And burn! Love it. I love those two particular voice lines. Great. What is this? What have you done? You'll ruin everything.
Closer. Come closer. And burn!
I don't know if you could hear him over the music there, but he said, "Good luck. You will need it." Because he knows that now that we've stopped him, well, let's just say we're going to be able to increase our chances of getting down there and taking him on. Because, yeah.
Leeches! Take my blood and choke on it!
So, yeah, this basically sets us up to then do the Magtheridon's Lair raid. So this is another way for us to quickly get back to the entrance so we can turn in these quests. Because now we have discovered the truth of the Blood Furnace, and we must report back in and let them know, oh my gosh, it's Magtheridon! He's the source.
Speak, friend. For the Horde. May your blade...
These vitals could mean the end of the Fell Orcs. I hope you understand just how important that is to our campaign here.
Strength. Be safe.
The interference has gone down, but we still cannot access that area. We'll continue to investigate the matter. Thank you for your help.
Go forth to victory.
I see. If they can do this to the Maghar Brown Orcs, they can do it to us. We must be careful lest they turn all of Thrallmar into these mindless beasts.
So yeah, they're doing this to the Maghar Orcs of Nagrand, which is where we encounter Garrosh.
Be safe.
So, yeah, that's us discovering the horrifying truth of what's going on in the Blood Furnace. Now, when we return, we will be doing the third of the Hellfire dungeons here, where we are going to delve into the Shattered Halls to deal with the War Chief of the Fell Orcs. A name you guys are probably very familiar with. Kargath Bladefist. Stay tuned.